Hi everybody, Al Bernstein here with another one of my quick hits videos, and this one is one I'm uniquely qualified to do because on this one we're going to be previewing the terrific fight coming up between Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz that will be held this coming weekend. It should be a terrific matchup, and why am I so uniquely qualified to preview this fight? Because I've done virtually every one of the fights they've had on the major stage in boxing. It is a match that's set for Saturday, August 29th in Los Angeles, where they will both have rabid fans rooting them on in what everyone expects to be a great fight. Now, I mentioned I've done a lot of their fights. I have literally done the last 11 Leo Santa Cruz fights, and for Abner and I've done Abner Mares's fights, literally just about all of them on the world stage until the last three. Now, let's talk about Abner Mares for a second. Abner Mares is a 29-year-old, a former champion in 3 different weight divisions. And one of the things that's of note about Abner Mares is the fact that over a period between 2010 and 2013, he fought one of the toughest schedules in boxing. I always used to say that he and Carl Froch fought the toughest schedule during that period. During that time, he fought Yanni Perez, he fought Vic Darchinyan, Joseph Agbeko twice. He fought Anselmo Moreno, Eric Morel, Johnny Gonzalez, and Daniel Ponce de Leon. That's a murderer's row of fighters. And during that time, of course, was when he won titles. He had a draw with Yanni Perez, won all the rest of those, but then was knocked out by Johnny Gonzalez in a shocking fashion in the first round. And then he's had these 3 wins since then to kind of put himself back on the upper echelon of boxing, and that's led to his fight with Leo Santa Cruz. Abner Mares is ring tested, to be sure. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz is a 27-year-old who has also won championships in 2 weight divisions. Leo Santa Cruz's road has been a little bit different. Not suggesting that he hasn't fought good fighters. He has, but he has not fought anywhere near the level of talent that Abner Mares has fought in his career. And in recent months, and in the last year really, Santa Cruz has come under serious criticism for that. And that's why this fight for him is a real watershed kind of fight, because it's him showing that he's willing to go up against a top fighter, and people are curious to see how he will do in the fight. Well, for a tip on how they might win this fight, let's talk about the keys to victories for these 2 men. Santa Cruz has to really establish his jab in this fight to help control the geography of the fight. He's got to use that jab and use it a lot and double with the punch as well. Now, he's also got to be busy. He's a volume puncher. That is what he does. That's his calling card. And it'll take that to keep Abner Mares off him. He's not a big power puncher, one-punch power puncher, and doesn't create many knockouts to begin with against better opposition. However, there is one punch that he can use to perhaps hurt Abner Mares. It's the uppercut. And it's a punch that Mares will be susceptible to and has been susceptible to because he tends to bend in and he wants to get on the inside. So for Santa Cruz, a better choice than the left hooks for power when he can be countered by Mares's left hook is to use the uppercut. Now, what about Abner Mares? What does he need to do in this fight to be victorious? Well, for his keys to victory, number 1 is he's got to get inside and be physical. He's a fighter who now, I think, has adopted that style more than being a boxer puncher, which he has been in the past. And by the way, when I say get inside and be physical, I didn't put it in the keys, but when he jabs his way in, it's a much better way for him to get on the inside. We'll see if he does that. Once he's in there, he's got to work the body. Santa Cruz is susceptible to that. And Mares is a fantastic body puncher. It's one of his best attributes. The overhand right, I think, is going to be a key weapon. Now, Abner Mares has power in his left hook as well, but I think the overhand right is the punch that Leo Santa Cruz is most often hit with. And even from that inside posture, with just a little bit of space, I think Abner Mares can land that punch. This fight is interesting to me because it may be coming a year or two later than fans want it to come. Both men may, in fact, not quite be the same fighters they were a couple of years ago. There might be some disintegration in their overall skill sets and their physicality. However, they're still very, very good fighters. And as a matchup, it's hard to imagine one that is more appealing. This is a fight in which we are going to find out more about Leo Santa Cruz than we have found out ever before. This young man is facing probably the toughest challenge he's ever faced. And Abner Mares is facing a man who is the best among the last 3 or 4 opponents that he has faced. But certainly, as I mentioned earlier in the video, Abner Mares is much more battle-tested. So we're going to see when push comes to shove and we get to a point in this match where Leo Santa Cruz is really being tested, will he be able to stand up to somebody like Abner Mares? It's a fight that fans have looked forward to for quite a while. I'm sorry I won't be calling it because I've called so many of their other fights. The fight will be seen on ESPN, but I will be glued to my television watching it, and I think it'll be a fascinating matchup. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to whether Abner Mares can impose his physical will on Santa Cruz and be a little stronger on the inside. He's probably the heavier puncher, or whether Santa Cruz can be that volume puncher and outwork Abner Mares and take advantage of the fact that Mares can be hit, especially with combination punches. So it should be an excellent matchup. Like all of you, I'll be watching. Join me again next time for another Quick Hits.